Since COVID-19 was declared a pandemic earlier this year, it has ravaged both national and global economies. In this video, we'll look at the detrimental effects of the virus on the economy, and we'll look at the surprising case of the stock market. Here's an oversimplified explanation of how coronavirus has impacted the economy. First, let's look at the travel industry. Once worth $1.1 trillion, this sector will take many years to recover to its former glory. For starters, airlines have seen a decrease of 90% in air travel and losses of over $200 billion in revenue. Cruise lines have come to a complete halt as they are dangerous to be on during this pandemic. Also, hotel rooms in the US are 80% empty, and the prices of the rooms have fallen by more than half. In addition, Hertz, a major travel company, has gone bankrupt. The former car rental giant couldn't hold up during this pandemic because of people staying away from travel. So what are the impacts? It is estimated that about 10% of all jobs in the travel industry are permanently lost. Next, the sports and media industry has also taken a hit. AMC, the famous movie theater chain, has been forced to close down all its stores and has lost over $2.2 billion in cash. The NBA, NHL, and MLB rack up about $23 billion in revenue collectively, and there are 1.3 million jobs in the sports industry that are at risk during COVID. The retail industry was already being killed before the virus by e-commerce companies like Amazon. With the threat of e-commerce shutting down most stores, the retail industry is getting crushed. Household names like J.Crew, JCPenney, and Neiman Marcus have all filed for bankruptcies. Retail sales plunged 20% in April alone. One of the scariest impacts of coronavirus are their impacts on mom and pop shops. Unlike large corporations, small businesses don't have cash to survive and are at a greater risk. Over 100,000 small businesses have already closed, and 1/5 of small businesses are at risk of closing. We saw a 3/4 drop in revenue for more than half of small businesses. So how does this affect the average American? Well, we can see the direct impacts of coronavirus on the individual by looking at the unemployment rates. Over 20 million Americans have filed for unemployment, and 3/4 of business owners say that they will likely fire one of their employees. Alright, so we saw how coronavirus has impacted the economy. But what about the stock market? Now, surprisingly, the stock market has done extremely well compared to how the economy is doing. The S&P, which is an index fund of the top 500 companies, it's near its all-time high after a sharp dip and a quick recovery. There are many reasons for the stock market doing so well. First, investors are betting on the future. As the economy opens, investors know that we will recover from the virus in the next year or two. Second, the central banks are pumping trillions of dollars into the economy and the stock market. 3, tech stocks have been doing amazing as Americans are staying home and using technology more. 4, just like the rest of us, investors have FOMO. When investors see the market rise, they want to get in on the profits. Okay, so we've seen how coronavirus has impacted the economy and the stock market. But the reason why we are not in an economic depression is largely accredited to the Federal Reserve, which is the bank run by the government in charge of overseeing the monetary system. First, they've provided the airline industry with over $50 billion in grants. They've also provided stimulus checks to Americans to encourage spending because the economy runs on the consumers spending money. Thirdly, they've cut interest rates to 0%, so more people borrow money and inject the money they borrow into the economy. They've also kept small businesses and large corporations afloat by giving hundreds of billions of dollars worth of loans and grants. The money provided by the government has saved millions of jobs and thousands of businesses. Without them, we'd likely experience the same economic effects as the people during the Great Depression. Thanks for watching.